Hello, pocket knife community, knife lovers, knife enthusiasts, interested viewers. Folder here. I want to do a very quick initial impression of a knife that I just acquired. The Jelly Jerry Design JJD TS340 Tucson. Um, so this is a steel that I only have one. Well, this came in a few steels, but the one I got is in N 690. And the only other experience I have with N690 is my Giant Mouse GMF4. This monster is the only other experience I have with the steel. And I am not gonna lie, I have not used this knife yet. So I've had it. I have not had the opportunity to actually take it in the field and really put it through the test. But I've only heard really good things about the steel. What I do know about it is that it is highly corrosion resistant. Okay, it's corrosion resistant. It has amazing edge retention because of it's such a fine grain metallurgy, fine grain powdered steel. It has very good edge retention, and if there's any place where it suffered somewhat would be toughness, and not that it's not tough at all, but it's that would be the of the three pillars of how we judge pocket steels. That would be the weakest one. Um, so, but depending on the use, which if you just got if this is a slicer, right, it's a slicer, right? See, with my lights here, yeah, the toughness is not as necessary with a EDC knife or something that you're just going to use for slicing. You're not going to be cutting anything you're not supposed to be cutting. This is no pry bar. We're not sticking this in between something and wedging something. No, none of that. This is strictly slicey dicey, right? So under those conditions, it's excellent. It's $100. It's like the best $100 I ever spent. I mean, Tucson is amazing. They have really nice stuff, and I like Jerry's stuff anyway. So JJD. This knife's about 8.5 inches with a 3.6 blade. I haven't weighed it, and I'm not looking at the specs. So when I do a full review, I'll have the weight. Not that important. It's not that heavy. It's just a lot bigger than it looks. It just doesn't look like a huge knife, but I got big hands, and look, I can get all four on this sucker. And if I use the choil, look what my hand is. That's pretty incredible. I got hands sticking out of the back of this thing. So it doesn't appear to be a big knife, but it really is. It's not over the legal limit for my state. I mean, it's well under, it's 3.6 inches. So, you know, it's legal. It's just that uh, it's a big knife. it's just bigger than I thought. So like I said, about 8.5 inches long, the whole entire knife. You know. So first impressions, the jimping is absolutely spectacular. So that's my first impression. When you grab onto it and feel the ergos, this first segment of jimping that comes right off the spine of the handle is really good. I mean, it really puts the brakes on. Okay, using the front finger choil, if you wanted to advance to the front jimping, it's just as good as the back, maybe even better. This is one knife where jimping isn't just put on here for aesthetics, just for looks. It actually works. Very good, really good traction on that. We want to do a pinch grip with this long blade that we have. You can put your finger on the jimping up here for traction and pinch grip it and do some detailed cutting that way. If you want to use the front choil and use the back series of jimping, or stretch to the front because you want to bear down on something to get some more downward force, you can. Your thumb's not going anywhere. Finger choil is very good. I mean, it's not Giant Mouse Tribeca generous, but it's more generous than the Biblio. If you're familiar with the Giant Mouse Biblio. So, yeah, not quite as big as the Tribeca, but bigger than the Biblio. The handle is spectacular. Really is. It really is a pistol grip handle. Feels very good in hand, and yeah. It's got this bolster lock. Are these titanium? I think it is. I'm pretty sure. Titanium bolster locks and bolsters with a bolster lock, as you can see. And they use carbon fiber, and really nice carbon fiber too, for the rest of the handle. Inlay right in there. Really nice chamfering around the handle. Nice. The action is very good. Very good action. Very smooth. This backspacer is spectacular. I can't say enough about it. I mean, look at that backspacer with the integrated lanyard hole. Man, how about that for some serious, beautiful design? That is absolutely outstanding. Look at the pocket clip. Man, twosome. Let me see how this thing feels. Oh yeah, pocket clip is excellent. Slides in, slides right back out, holds in place. This is a home run. Only thing, initial impressions, the only thing I'm going to complain about is, and it might just be me with my hands, I cannot reverse flip this knife. You would think it has a deployment hole and a partial fuller here also. It's just too close to the center pin for me to flick it. I just can't do it. I barely can get this thing out with just my thumb. And it's not because the detent's too strong, it's just because that hole is just too close to the pivot, to the main pivot. And if I'm going to use the deployment, I have to actually pinch it, and then I come out with one finger. So that's the way I have to do it. That's just my hands. Pinch it with two. Once you get it moving, then you can slow roll it with one. So you can deploy it that way, or you can just use the flipper tab and fire it out. This is a very good tactical knife. Very good. And if you've watched my channel, there's a few criteria that in my book, what makes a knife very good for combat or tactical, and one is the ergos. You have to have a handle that you can get a complete purchase on, because if a knife is used for defense or used for military, law enforcement, security, if it's used for that, it can't be something that's small in your hand and you can't get a good grip on it. You only got two fingers holding on to it. No. It has to be a complete purchase of that handle, and you get it with this. It's enough handle to get a complete purchase, and the pistol grip, the ergos are just fantastic. The front flipper tab helps you lock your finger in, your front finger, so that in the case of puncturing and you hit something that's not puncturable, your hand does not slide forward. All the characteristics of a good combat knife. And also look at the blade. Speaks for itself. I mean, usually with something that's is designed for combat, it's not going to have a finger choil, a front finger choil. Because this is a more detailed feature, but it's giving you the best of both worlds. I'm not saying that's what this knife was designed for. I'm just saying that the ergos scream it. The ergos scream it, man. Like hold it in your hand, like the amount of force that you can put, like this thing is crazy. I mean, it's very, very good, very nice. And let's not forget, EDC, this is going to be great. You can use this thing for projects, anything that requires, look at the tip on this thing. So anything that requires that tip to be down, you can feather, you can do some feather cuts. I mean, you can use this tool. And like I said, it's N690 steel, which is highly corrosion resistant and has amazing edge retention. It's very easy to sharpen. Even though the edge retention's good, it's easy to sharpen because it's such a fine grained powdered steel, such a fine grained metallurgy. It makes it a lot easier to you know, to get that edge back up. Even though you're not going to need it much because it just holds an edge. So, all right, that's all I got right now. You know, I carry it for a week, see how I like it, do some light cutting with it because it's definitely not something that I'm going to use for heavy duty, heavy stuff around the house. I'm not going to be doing my wood crafting with this. You know, winter's on its way, so you know I'm going to be cranking up my fireplace, and I use pocket knives for batoning my kindlers, my kindling wood, my fat wood, all that. This will not be used for that. You know, I have other knives for that. This is more of, it's absolutely beautiful. EDC for projects, light tasks, and I might decide to, you know, use this for, you know, in a different role, but we'll see. All right, that is the N690 powered Jelly Jerry design Tucson TS340. That's all I got.